with the frayed cuffs. You left your compass on the sideway next to a half-finished glass of gin. I watched you walk toward the tree line. The landscape didn't even flinch. The architecture of the forest closing like a heavy velvet curtain behind your leather boots. The name is scratched into the wood underneath the desk no one touches. We keep the files in the basement where the damp rot eats the ink. Where the damp rot eats the ink. Forevermore. Earther chased the sound of wings, that rhythmic beating over the hills. He returned as a grainy image, a smudge on a piece of cheap paper. Sarah looked too long at the lake. The surface tension broke her. She dissolved into the silt. I am still standing in this lobby, straightening my collar for the press. So much noise. Drinking to forget the altitude, drinking to ignore the lack of air. The map is just a collection of stains. The mountains are cold and indifferent. We are just collectors of absences, filing away the people who left. The name is scratched into the wood underneath the desk no one touches. We keep the files in the basement where the damp rot eats the ink. Where the damp rot eats the ink. Gone into the grave, gone into the grave forevermore. Left their shoes in the dirt. The tide is high and empty. The tide is high and empty. The sky is heavy and empty. The files are heavy and empty.
but the children, I love it, and the parents, they encourage the children to talk to me, which is like the most beautiful thing in the world. I feel like a Mickey Mouse in Disneyland.
You did not just say that on freaking the recording, did you? You did not just call yourself fucking Mickey Mouse.
I feel
a black man that calls himself Mickey Mouse is not freaking good, dude.
I feel that way. I literally feel that way. And these children love me, and you know, they're kids. Of course, I love them. And just to wave at the children, the strollers, they'll wave at me, and it's like I'll wave back. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay. That's how you know that racism.
It sounds like you are in some sort of theme park. You mean you can go down the street and everybody smiles and waves like?
Well, yeah, because he's.
That's literally my experience walking through the streets of Poland.
Yeah.
People want to stop. They want to wave. They want to talk. It's beautiful. It's absolutely extraordinary.
Remember me and Roger having a conversation about this some time ago, and we concluded that it doesn't matter in what country you're in bigger cities, you are going to be ignored. In small towns,
that's what I think happened.
It's more likely of you being noticed.
I think he got like freaking sent to a small town and shit.
No, I lived in Wrocław.
That's what it sounds like.
I lived in Wrocław, which is the second biggest city behind Warsaw, the capital. So it's a pretty big city. So I live on the outskirts of Wrocław, but in the suburbs. But
there you go.
Yeah, but is that area considered as being just a part of the city, or is there more of a local feel to that sort of area, or to that?
Because
well,
that's a big that is a big difference. Because like I used to live in Evansville, Indiana, which had about 50,000, which is a small city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even with 50,000 people in that town, though, they had old stories, and you could like hang out with people, and they could tell you about families. This family lived over here, and this family, and like you would think 50,000 people, that kind of stuff would disappear. You know what I mean? But it didn't. Like they had that community kind of thing still going on. You know what I mean?
Well, I get this idea in my head and this urge that like I want to go around like schools and other different places just so that these Europeans can see a black man and interact with me and see that I'm not scary.
You fucking nuts, dude.
Because I'm a big teddy bear.
I swear to God, you are freaking nuts. Like you want to go on a freaking. You want to go on a freaking. What do they call that? Where you go on a. From one
a
tour, dude. Say, look at me, I'm a black man.
Look at me, I'm a black man. Yeah,
there are black people in Europe, you know.
It's like fucking nuts. He's so nuts, dude.
Well, I'm inspired because the wonder of the children.
Polish people are really
hatred.
Yeah, Polish people are actually really good people.
They're
people.
Great. The people themselves. Of course, you get the radicals anywhere that you are, but the people themselves, I mean, they're great. I love Europeans as a whole. Good people. I think you're gonna find yourself amongst good people anywhere you land.
So let me ask you a question though. Between Polish people and English people, who do you think are better people?
When you say English people, you mean UK, right?
Yeah.
Well, define what you mean by better.
Well, better. You know what I mean? Like freaking.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get way more UK booty than I will Polish booty.
Well.
But as far as acceptance and being different, it's gonna be Poland. Like I said, it's just when you see a child who lights up at the sight of you and wants to wave at you and smile at you, it's the most beautiful feeling in the world. There's nothing better. And just knowing that racism is not something that's genetic. Racism is not something that is
in tone. It's.
I mean, at that point, racism is taught by another hateful person. It's not natural. So when you have these children who look at you like you're Mickey Mouse, it's like, I don't know. It's the most refreshing thing ever.
They didn't look at you like you were Mickey Mouse. You felt like Mickey Mouse when they looked at you. There's a difference.
Well, so they're the younger kids, the ones that are in strollers, and the ones that can barely walk.
Did they outright call you Mickey Mouse, dude?
No.
Okay, that's my whole point.
But they light up.
Yeah, I know.
And they want to touch me. They want to laugh with me. They want to play with me. Now you get the kids that are a little bit older who are like 8, 9 years old, and they're in little groups and they jostle each other like, look. They'll point at me, and I'll wave at them. They'll wave back, and they'll giggle amongst each other, and it's just the cutest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it warms my heart. It makes me have hope for humanity. So I know the hatred comes from those who have some screwed up experience or pre-prejudice taught to them.
Well, you know the background with Poland, though, right? Like Poland, when you sit and you listen to like Bohemian Rhapsody and all that shit. Okay, you know what Bohemian is, right?
Bohemia, yes.
Bohemia. I mean, like when you're talking about Bohemia, you're talking about like Poland is right in the mix of all that.
That's the European trans or experience of that, I should say.
You know,
sure.
It's like freaking they. I mean, they were the ones. They were one of the first ones that made it to where they protected the gypsy and stuff like that. They were actually able to not be persecuted. I believe they actually did the same thing with the Jews over there. And
the Romas, right?
You know, I mean,
So-
that's a pretty liberal freaking region, and it goes all the way back. even-
Well, you would think that, but then you have political parties like Low Injustice, which is the far right wing assholes over here that will kick the crap out of pregnant Polish women who are fighting for their right to their own bodies. So liberal. I you know, we have the Catholic Church over here, so let's keep that in mind. The Catholic Church, the poison that it is, and I will say that
Those damn
openly.
Jesuits.
Oh, don't get me started on Jesuits, man. Come on. I'm making my business to know about assassins and anything having to do with assassinry. Yeah. So just like how the CIA has their own economical hitman, the Jesuits have been doing it long before the CIA existed. If I could say, the Jesuits were just a precursor to the CIA. You know, you got the Inquisition, etc. Across Europe, that was just absolutely horrific. And torture devices. I've seen some of these torture devices up close and personal. The pyramid of pain, where they set a person on top of a triangle, and where they are supposed to sit. However, they're too heavy to actually sit upon this point, and they split in two. I've seen the Iron Maidens. I've seen I've seen all the torture devices in person, because I used to tour the castles in Europe. I've seen them. I've seen them in person. These things are brutal. So, going from that to little children smiling at me, I think the world is moving in a brighter direction. For sure.
Well, I mean, you had the freaking Hungary and Turkish, and you had the Hungarian, and then you had the Turkish, and then what else did you have?
Well,
you
the
had
thing
Slavs
about
over
Poland. Well, the thing about Poland is it's a nexus of all that stuff.
Right. Everybody wanted to fight
Middle
for
East.
control of Poland too.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you have Middle Eastern influence all the way to Russian influence, all the way to French influence, and it's sort of like Poland is sort of like the U.S. of Europe, which is kind of why we have such a.
All that. I mean,
I don't know.
Dude,
Poland's the
no,
way
no,
its
no.
own culture, its own ethnicity,
Yeah.
and that goes back 1,000 years.
now if you want,
Well, I mean, they
talk,
have their own kings. They have their own history. I'm not saying they don't have their own
you want to know what,
background or their own ethnic identity, but you have influences. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. The kebab, which is a Turkish thing, right? Kebab stands. There are more kebab stands than there are any other kind of restaurant.
Kebab stands are kebab.
Just like America has hot dog stands.
Roll into town with feathers on fire, midnight plumage, barnyard dyer, big black cock, mean and proud, crow so loud, it splits the crowd. Blondes on the fence, go What's that thing? Every sunrise, chaos rings. He struts like thunder, sharp and loud. V just sighs, says not today, crowd. Eyes on the bird, hands off the prize. This ain't your average farmyard sight. Hands off the cock, back away. This bird starts wars before midday. Blondes keep circling, tempting fate. V's got it feathers like it's stay. Hands off the cock, hear him cry. That crow could tear apart the sky. You want trouble? Step in close, but V protects what crows. So guys, Pecker's sharp like forged black steel. Every step's a power deal. Boots hit dirt, wings spread wide. Barnyard king with nowhere to hide. They laugh, they stare, they test their luck, till that cock jumps off the truck. One flap, one crow, the message sent, curiosity met, consequence. It's a cock, a loud one, a mean one. Stop feeding it attention. Hands off the cock! End of line! This bird's protected all the time. Blows beware! Respect the rule! This ain't a pet, it's a weaponized tool! Hands off the cock! Final say that crow survives another day. You want peace, you know the code. Respect the bird or hit the
Yeah, common in the UK, but I've got one just down the road from me.
Well, I mean,
I
that's
mean-
what I was getting at.
That's
If you
really
want
true.
to, if you want to talk about little America, that would be the UK. That would be England.
Well,
yeah.
no.
England is actually the melting pot of freaking the entire
What?
region there, dude.
No, but just to correct what you're saying, if you want to go back, England England came before America, so you can't say that England is the
Look at-
influence.
look at how many ethnic,
America is the big UK.
look at how many
Yeah.
You can't
ethnic
say it
groups.
before America.
I know, but
Uh-huh.
think about it though. How many ethnic groups have freaking migrated to England, dude? All throughout the history, even before it was called
the
England.
thing about England is that they became so freaking bred that they had to fly in Indians just to
Dude, I'm-
diversify the freaking gene pool over there.
I'm talking about the
No
Welsh.
offense,
I'm
Mark.
talking about the Welsh.
I'm pretty sure you're genetically diverse.
Hey,
I'm pretty sure of that.
I'm talking about the Welsh. I'm talking about the Vikings. Let's look at the freaking
Dude, the
The
Vikings,
Celts,
the Roman Empire,
the Celts.
the Celts,
all of them.
everything. Yeah,
They had all of it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like it was a melting pot, dude.
Well, it had to be, because any place that presumes to be the seat of power is going to attract all cultures.
They even at one time got more powerful than the Roman Empire because they had a Roman army that was
They
stronger.
were subject to the Roman Empire.
But
Right.
their army, their Roman army was actually more powerful than the army they had in Rome.
The
Yeah,
Breton.
hence why they had to pull them back in the 5th century, 4th
Mhm.
century,
Amazing.
5th century.
They pulled them
Yeah.
back because they freaking every time they tried to show up for a battle, by the time they made it to freaking Rome, it was too late. The battle was over.
Well, yeah. I mean, Europe is relatively small by today's standards. When you have things like automobiles and airplanes, uh, Europe is relatively small. But yeah, horse and buggy. Yeah, that's why. But Europe is just the big enough size to have that reachability to where you can have political conflict but yet enough
I
cultural
don't know
diversity.
because you've got to consider things like natural landmarks like rivers and mountains and
Like the Swiss, for example,
Yeah.
surrounded by mountains, which they didn't have to bow to anybody because they
and
have their own natural wind.
hence why Britain has been able to hold on to a specific culture because
Island.
specific
Yeah, it's an
culture
island.
because it's an island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the Alps. You know what I mean? Like, you know what made
Yes.
what was his name? I keep forgetting his Hannibal. You know what made Hannibal famous? He was able.
He crushed the Roman Empire when they tried to invade Africa.
No, he actually led his troops through the freaking Alps into freaking Rome to freaking attack them, and it's like that was one of the most. It was one of the hardest but successful campaigns. Nobody.
He literally had elephants and crushed them.
But nobody would ever march through the Alps. Put it to you that way. That was a suicide mission in the ancient world, dude. You just did not march an army into the Alps.
And the reason why he had to do that because Alexander the Great was not going to come and step to him personally, even though Alexander the Great claimed the lands which he ruled. So he had to go and check him, as we say in the black culture. You got checked, put in your place. So yeah, Hannibal is a great example, and I love the fact that they reused the name of Hannibal in fictional media because most people think of a cannibalistic, a psycho killer when you say Hannibal because Hannibal Lecter, but no, Hannibal was a genius African general who strategically handed Alexander the Great's ass to him.
I heard he was a white man.
Huh? No, was not. Was not.
Oh God.
Hannibal was not a white man.
I had to say it. I had to do it.
Emperor Haile Selassie was not a white man.
Forget.
They say he was, but we have pictures of Emperor Haile Selassie. Okay, he totally African, totally black.
I gotta ask you something.
Uh huh.
What do you think about this whole thing about sacrificing babies? Do you think that freaking that it was all freaking actually the Phoenicians who did it?
Well, no. Okay, so
Because
don't bring the Phoenicians into it. The first black African culture
Carthage
who came up with our legal system and our legible writing system.
I'm saying Carthage with sacrificing babies to freaking.
Well, you had sacrifice all across the planet,
You know,
and
do you think it's fair to say that freaking they sacrificed their babies to their gods?
fair to whom?
To the Carthaginians.
Child sacrifice is something that may or may not have been implanted into us by a previous ruling dynasty to our own sovereignty. However, to our own sovereignty, to our own makeup as a culture, it is completely unnecessary. Sacrifice in itself is necessary. You have to have sacrifice. It is a part of mysticism. It is a part of the occult. It is part of real life of every day. You have the law of equivalency. Okay, even quantum science says, and there's a law of thermodynamics, right? There's no energy created, just transferred. So you do have this thing of sacrifice, but I think it was to a ruler of a far more advanced civilization, whether it be extraterrestrial or native to the planet. I'm not going to argue either one of those points. However, it was symbolic, a sacrifice. For a sacrifice to actually exist and have effect upon real world events, that thing has to be related to. So you preserve a certain amount of water, a rainfall, maybe in a tank or something, over a year, so that you can irrigate and have crops. You're sacrificing. You're stopping your people from drinking that, or to be wasted upon the land during times where it wasn't needed. So just to give an example, there's always give and take. That's Mother Nature. There's no free lunches in nature. You give and you take. If you can't take without giving. Even now, people would say, "Well, I'm not giving anything listening to this podcast." No, you're giving up your time, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
There's always a give and take with any and everything. The child sacrifice was just the way for the elite of that culture, of any culture, who weaponize religion and to get the ultimate declaration of servitude. What more can you sacrifice than your own child? What more of yourself can you give other than yourself personally? Your children. It's symbolic of loyalty, of dedication. It symbolizes so many things. It's not a spiritual thing. Gods don't need to eat children. Okay? Although that's how it may be translated for those simple-minded people who couldn't understand the law of equivalency. But there are some sacrifices that are purely ritual or symbolism, and there are some sacrifices that actually serve a physical role within a society. There's a book by I forget his name. I'm trying to come up with his name. Something Vasilis, Varsilis, and he talks about the role of sacrifice. It's occult mysticism, but he talks about the role of sacrifice in each civilization and why it is present. So, I mean, we eat food and then we defecate, right? There's a cycle there. The land gives us food, we give the land fertilization. It's a cycle. So sacrifice has its place. Of children per se, I'm against that. That's entirely probably a construct of some tyrannical, false religious leader of many cultures, because these things get perverted.
Well,
they get adulterated.
You got to think. Okay, time's not linear either. Like we cannot relate the way we think and what we believe.
In the chamber of the silent scroll, where the hidden lanterns burn. A king once asked a question, and the stars began to turn. From the lips of ancient wisdom came a whisper through the air. Every crown must learn the pattern written in the heavens there. Planets circle slowly in a language none can see, but the ones who learn the symbols hold the keys to destiny. Secret of the hidden stars, fire in the midnight sky. Every fate and every throne turning as the planets fly. Speak the words the sages knew, trace the signs that time can see. What was locked in shadow long, now the cosmic wheel reveal. Talismans of silver iron carved beneath the rising moon, waiting for the hour when the spheres align in tune. Stones and herbs and ancient metals hold their quiet gravity. Every atom of creation guarding secret alchemy. From the dust of earthly kingdoms to the endless cosmic flame, and watch the stars align.
To what was taking place during that time period. You know what I mean? I
Right.
think too many people get caught up in that. Like, okay, you might be against it, but don't freaking sit there and say bad things about these people because that was their culture. That was their way.
That was their culture.
That was the
Right.
way they lived. You know what I mean? It was like,
This is what they believed. So for some reason, these people saw a correlation between their sacrifice and the good luck that they have. So if something works, why fix it, right?
well, I mean, it's just, well, I mean, today what I'm finding is a lot of people are living a delusional life where they think we
Oh,
come
yeah.
from this golden age where everybody freaking acted proper and they came from heaven or the Garden of Eden or some freaking enchanted land, you know. And the truth is we were savages. We freaking had to survive in order to live, you know.
Well, let me ask you something. So you are familiar with Warhammer 40K. You have the golden age, the age of strife. You had the age of the Iron Man, the Golden Men. You have all these ages. Now, the most important age, I think, in the Warhammer 40K fictional universe is you have the Dark Age of Technology. And I tell everybody, we're having a dark age of technology right now. And now I wanted to qualify this statement based upon the definitions, but I want to see if you know something about it before I go into it.
Well, first of all, 40K, Warhammer 40K is a warp freaking universe.
Yeah.
Okay, like they don't, like, their dark age of technology means that freaking it was actually a time of technology and progress, but in their universe, freaking they don't believe in that. They believe in tyrannical government. Their emperor was an evil freaking dictator, and if you didn't believe in him and think of him as a god, then you were an enemy. You see, period. That's all there was. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, but people don't understand. I don't even think people understand the terminology.
Well,
The Dark Age. example.
It's really interesting with that whole concept because like freaking like if you're not aware of the storyline for that game, you're not going to understand what's being said there. You know.
Well,
what
I mean, but you can understand our own timeline, which it mimics.
They
We
forsake
had Dark Ages, right?
right, but
And
to
people don't
see
understand what that means.
during this time period, like they forsake technology. It's really weird. Like they control they control the entire freaking galaxy and everything, and they're actually in their decline. But what happens is they forsake their technology. You know what I mean?
Well, no. So, okay. So let me clarify here. Dark Ages. So when you have a Dark Age, that means you have a leap in progress, but is only known to a few. Dark Age, like the Dark Ages, the real Dark Ages in Europe. The reason why it's called the Dark Age is because they had an enlightening of spirituality and religion, but it was only known to a handful. These handful only knew what they knew because they could read. Okay, so this is the Dark Ages, and people had to believe the people who could read and believe their interpretations of written texts. They are the priesthood, the class of people who are only have access to the knowledge, and it is only accessible to them because they know how to read. That's why it was the Dark Ages.
Do you know there was a Dark Age before that?
Well, hold on. Hold on. So, in reference to Warhammer 40K, the Dark Age of Man was its greatest height of technology, but only a handful of people knew how it worked. So that's why you have it's not a renaissance. Renaissance means everybody knows how everything works.
Well, that was after the Dark Ages, anyhow.
So right, exactly. So when you have a dark age, that means the lights are out. Nobody's illuminated, except for a handful. When you have a Renaissance, everybody's enlightened.
Well,
Age of enlightenment.
just to clarify this on a Dark Age, though, you know that's not the first one. The first one that we had was when ancient Assyria fell. When it was
That's not even the first one.
well, that's the one that we know
We have
of so
many.
far. You know, like
We
an
have had
actual
many
like
dark ages,
like
which is why mankind has restarted itself over and over, at least 6 or 7 times, because we come to an apocalyptic an event, and we have to rediscover these technologies because nothing is preserved for future generations. That's why these monuments were built. These pyramids, these wonders of the world. That's why they built these monolithic things, to preserve some sort of knowledge for the next age. And so you have yeah, you got these pyramids. We don't know how they were built. That's because they had a different set of technological knowledge, whether through a dark age or a renaissance of their own. More than likely, a renaissance, because they employed so many people, not just enslaved, employed so many people to build these great megalithic things. And so you got these hieroglyphs that look like it contains information about modern machines, like that helicopter and light bulb, right? So
you know that Mark hasn't said anything to you because he's afraid of you because you're black, right? Like he would have brought out the smackdown like an hour ago if you weren't black, dude. Like he'd have been like, dude, I can't say nothing bad about this black dude. Freaking roll your window up, shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
You know
we
what
gotta
that's
pull it
all
in.
about? Like at the gas station when those white dudes or that white couple.
Dude,
was
I want to
sitting
go
in
to a
car,
gas station
dude.
where somebody else pumps my gas.
But have you know what I'm talking about though, right? Like the little old white couple sitting in front of the gas station, and you walk by and they all of a sudden their doors lock. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
Chances are that's the whole thing.
Thank God I have never experienced that, because
I always hear people
all over
say
that
that
with a
shit.
lawsuit. I would have been that's the kind of things I hunt for. I'm gonna while I was in Europe, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I need to come up with a way to, because on my show, the Red Pill Hardcore Radio Show, I started covering these instances where black people were being screwed over by the system. And I told myself I would come up with a way to be able to expose this even more, to be able to utilize this in some way. And years later, yes, I'm here in the States, and it's like every cop I talk to is super nice to me. It didn't used to be that way.
Well, that's because
I literally, before I left to go to Europe,
dude,
I would literally see cop cars rolling in 3 or 4 cars at a time, because they hot in packs.
I was impressed with you the other day, dude. You
Well,
know,
they would have their earpieces in their ear, their flat top haircuts,
hold on,
and their sunglasses like they're
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzeneggers, and they would stare me down looking for confrontation.
Let me
I'd stare 'em
point
back
something.
down.
Let me point something out though. I was really impressed with you the other day because you stood up for freaking gay people, man. It's like you're
Gay
all,
people are the bomb.
you were like
Listen,
all saying that gay rights was good. And,
gay rights.
ever sleep. Fragrant winds and golden sleep. Bodies shining like morning glass, knowing beauty cannot last. Petals fade around their throne. Even heaven ages slow. Light grows thin across their skin. Something human creeping in. Flowers with a garment stole. Silence fills the radiant halls. When the fragrance turns to dust, when light forgets what it was, five signs call the sky to end. Heaven learns to fall again. Even stars must lose their fire. Even gods return to fire. Seed grows hard beneath the crown. Light descending, sinking down. Joy becomes a distant tone. Lonely even when alone. Thoughts grow heavy, dreams grow slow. Knowing where they cannot go. Merit fades like morning dew. Rebirth waits for something new. Hear the soft celestial cry. Heaven learns it's time to die. When return to ground.
I was really
Rice is
surprised.
awesome.
I was really surprised that you did that. Because,
I'm okay, but you know I'm on Hiroki's show as the PUA and the advocate for the left.
oh my goodness.
Right.
That's my role
Right.
on the RPN. all right?
He's got a bad choice, dude. Seriously, he needs to find a better freaking person to represent the left. Because you're like fucking way too weird for that shit, dude. You don't even fucking belong on the left. You belong like
Wait a minute. Did you just say I'm way too weird for the left?
yeah. Yeah, that's
That's a
exactly.
compliment.
Wait, you know it's funny too because I'm rolling around town
Fucking left would.
with my friend. Listen. I'm rolling around town with my friend, and one day, and I look and I see, oh my god, there's an oddity shop. There's this shop in the middle of the town. It's an oddity shop. And when I say oddities, you know, if you're looking for someone's spine in a jar full of preservatives, that's where you go. If that's what you want.
My
If you
goodness,
want
dude.
weird, if you want if you want weird taxidermied chimera beasts to put, you know, that's taxidermy and put on your desk, that's where you go. And so I'm with a lady at the time, my friend, and I'm like, I gotta go in there. I gotta see that stuff because I used to watch a TV show. There was a TV show
I knew it.
about oddities like that.
That's what I was thinking when you were getting ready to say that. I was like, you can make
And-
that
and-
woman go in there with you, aren't you?
Well, she was like, I don't want any of that stuff in my house. I don't want anything weird in my house.
I don't
I don't
blame.
want to deal with the occult. I'm like, but you do realize I'm one of the world's most I'm one of the most progressive leading researchers into the occult. I'm the weirdest thing that you have in your house. You do understand that, right? And she's like, yeah, but I don't want objects like eyeballs in a jar in my house because I can feel that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't collect that kind of stuff either. I don't.
Eyeballs on
I
a
like
jar on your mantelpiece, yeah, on your fire in your living room, yeah.
Well, I mean, I can connect with that kind of stuff. I know what it's for, and it's, but I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm not gonna ship it. I'm not gonna import it. I don't have anything to do with that. So it was kind of funny that she asked me not to. Like, but you already had. When it comes to the occult, you don't want the occult in your house. I'm the #1 occult researcher you'll ever meet, and I'm in your house. I'm the weirdest thing in your house.
Otto could be coming in. He just.
It's just like you're okay, but the other stuff, no.
Do you hear me?
Fair enough.
Otto might be coming in. Freaking, he just
Okay.
messaged and said he didn't get the notification. I told him we're still in here if he wants to come hang out. So
Well, I like Otto. He
Yeah.
may just be my predecessor in psychotronic weaponry research.
well,
So, like Otto.
Otto has probably got so much information, dude. Like a lot of people don't realize how much
He's Dr. Otto.
Otto Excelsior, man. Like-
Does he have the mechanized dendrites?
He-
The octopus limbs?
He probably.
Yeah, I was thinking.
He's Doc Ock.
Yeah.
He.
I'm sorry, I'm nerding out all over this.
I expect it when it comes to you. Like you go full blown nerd, dude. You and Naroki.
You can't go full blown nerd.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
can. Dude.
do it, but I do.
Well,
They
no,
say you can't go full blown.
I've got to be correct on this because I've already mentioned to, like, when I first met Mark and Tan, I had to explain to him that there's a difference between being a nerd and a geek. Like when you go full geek mode, that's not
Geek mode is you just spewing everything possible and being excited about it.
Like-
Being nerd is just you just novel. knowledgeable asshole. You just, you know.
I mean, like freaking Comic Con and freaking
I've never been to a
games.
Comic-Con.
RPG games and fucking comic book stores
Yes.
and
Okay.
that's all geeking out. No,
Yeah, comic book stores. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
I actually got a friend who actually owned a comics book store up to something like 9 months ago, actually. Okay, a year ago.
That's the way to live, man. I mean, if I could like sell comic books in the front and freaking masturbate in the back, I'm
I think there's health, in the UK there's health and safety laws against masturbating, and
you better freaking second guess freaking what's going on in those
Hey,
comic
what
book stores,
about
dude.
that? What about that British guy who got arrested for posting a couple of memes on a social internet site? Did you hear about that?
Which case? There's been
Which
so many
case?
cases of that.
That's my point. There are British men being arrested for posting memes, which is ridiculous. Can you talk about that, Mark?
Again, I don't know the specific case you're talking about.
I don't know the details, but this guy, I don't know. He posted 2 memes on Facebook. Next thing you know, cops are at his door to arrest him.
Did he
So
get prosecuted?
I don't know the specifics, but the generality, the idea of it, you must have an opinion.
I've wrote a
Being arrested
lot
for a
about this.
meme? Come on.
I wrote a lot about this in the past. It's a complicated issue. Overly complicated. In principle, just in mere principle, I wouldn't have these people. I wouldn't arrest people for posting. Again, depends on the content. Again, I don't know the specifics of this case, so.
Well, I think that it shouldn't depend upon the specifics. It's a meme. If you were to drop a meme right now,
If a meme was there trying to encourage threats of violence or death upon somebody,
I can tell you he was not provoking violence and he was not provoking death, but he had his own political.
Okay, yeah.